Hey, what's up everyone? Sorry I haven't posted in a while. I was job hunting, but I did find a job, so I can post videos more regularly now. And today I'm gonna do something a bit different. I'm gonna talk about this month's Sylph Nightfall Cup. So
hey man, nobody cares about your real life and nobody cares about Sylph. Give us real content.
So anyway, today's video is going to be about my practice cup with the European Pokemon League. I literally built this team in like 20 minutes. I looked at PvP poke. I was coming back from work on the bus looking at stats, and I literally just picked, you know, the top ranked Pokemon I've ever type. Swampert, Stunfisk, Venusaur, Frostlass, and I was like, what beats all of these together? And I found that everyone was gonna run these Pokemon because they're all very consistent, and I decided to run Gallade as my flex pick. But let me show you my games and see how he performed. So first game against Trissy from Germany, I lead Gallade into Lapras. I figured I didn't really know how this matchup played out, so I just decided to stay in, seeing as it was a practice tournament and all. But upon realizing we both get to our moves at the same time, and I'm pretty sure Gallade wins CMP, so what I should have done is just throw these immediately instead of like trying to over farm, because I'll always win CMP and I'll always get the move at the same time. But because I over farmed greedily, he got an free Ice Shard in, and I ended up losing the lead here. So I decided I need to farm lots with Frostlass, because Frostlass with energy is really strong. So take this Surf like a champ and decide to farm it as much as possible, and then throw on the CMP when he gets to his 4th Surf. Then when he goes in Frostlass, I farm up to 5 Powder Snows and then throw my Shadow Ball, which obviously KOs. And now I'm in a very good position to take over the game here. Decide to go for Shadow Ball to do more damage, and I stay in. I actually probably would have gone to another Avalanche if I went for Avalanche, but he decides to throw at the very last second there, which probably was a mistake on his part, but because of that I am able to win the game, so well played, GG's. Next game, going right into it, I lead Gallade again, and I'm just gonna keep farming, hopefully go for a close combat. He goes for Rock Slide immediately, so I'm not gonna shield because I know it's resisted. Farm up a bit more, knowing he has got no energy, and throw the close combat, and it KOs, completely destroys. And then he comes in with Venusaur, decides to farm down, decide to throw another close combat, and so I won the switch and I got shields back. I won switch and shields actually. So I decided to farm this down with Frostlass. Frenzy Plant does actually a lot of damage, and I know how good Frostlass is, so I decided just to stay in. And then he comes in with Swampert, so throwing both my Avalanches here to take both shields. I'm kind of spooked, so I decide to catch the move on Swampert, because I know the Powder Snow damage is more than the Mud Shot, so even with no energy I can like Powder Snow down if it's a potential. So that's what I do, and yeah, win that game as well. And now Medicham, I'm not too sure, but I decided just to go into Gallade just to farm up some energy, and to bait out any. Actually, his own entire team is kind of weak to Gallade, and Gallade with shields, that is. So pretty much confusion down. I have Leaf Blade, win switch, throw a Leaf Blade into the Frostlass here, which he shields, so I get switch and I've evened out shields. I think I switched out the Swampert because I knew I needed Swampert for something better. So I decided not to shield this, and it's a Shadow Ball, which almost kills me. And the Hydro, I actually get a shield from it. I'm not going to be able to get to another Hydro, so I switch. Shield a potential Shadow Ball. Farm a bit extra. I know I can survive a Rock Slide, and I'm pretty sure 2 Avalanches and the subsequent Powder Snows pretty much knocks us out. So I decide to farm a bit extra here, just in case I need the extra energy for the Frostlass, and I throw with just a little bit HP. I think I could have gotten the Shadow Ball because I actually survived for 2 Powder Snows, and we double KO. So GG's. Next game against Roy Fraggle, and she's also rocking the Gallade, so she knows what's up. Have to shield this Leaf Blade here, it does a lot of damage. Decide to throw on the 5th Confusion my Avalanche. I know I'm gonna lose this into 2 shields, and he actually catches the Avalanche on the Swampert. I think he could have just stayed in and Confusion down. And now I'm gonna do the same thing. Well, I'm gonna do what he should have done. She should have done, and shield and farm down. I can survive this Leaf Blade, and all I have to do is throw mine to force the last shield, which was CMP anyway. And I think she decides to shield, and we double KO here. And now I have 2 Pokemon, and she only has 1, and I can choose. I have lots of energy on the Frostlass, so I come back in with that. Avalanche away, and I think I KO with the Powder Snows. So GG's. Really good lead here. I know I can get to Avalanche before Rock Slide, so I throw that immediately. And then I want to switch to Gallade to catch the Rock Slide potentially. And she actually takes 2 Confusions there, so kind of slow on the switch. And I resist both of its moves. I know I can survive Rock Slide from this range because I've seen it before in the previous set. And then I throw my Close Combat, and we know this does a lot of damage. But because we didn't do all the Confusions from before, it survived. But I can just Powder Snow down and kill the Stunfisk. I was pretty confident she would bait, and even if she didn't, I could have just come in with Swampert and kind of won with shields. And now with my shield advantage, I can pretty much take care of the Gallade. So yeah, really, really well played. GG's. I think for the next game, I lead Medichan, I believe? Or Frostlass, never mind. I think I make a few mistakes this game. Obviously, Swampert gets to the Hydro Cannons first, but I can tank a Hydro Cannon, and she can't. The Swampert can't tank an Avalanche, not with the extra Powder Snows. So essentially, I force her to shield first, which gives me the advantage, because now I can just throw my Avalanches immediately. So I even force a second shield here, and I actually make a mistake, and she throws just before my 3rd one, which is really smart. I shouldn't have shielded here. I should have just let it go and come in with Gallade, because Gallade with a shield and energy is really strong, because now this Venusaur has energy and I don't have shields for it. She switches to Gallade after seeing mine against the Venusaur. She barely survives. I should have actually stayed in there, but I was kind of scared of tanking a Leaf Blade, so I stayed in. And yeah, because of that, perfect counting just before the Earthquake, good energy management, takes the 3rd game. So really well played, Roy Fraggle. Next game against Kawaii. Got a kind of bad lead here again. I know the Noctowl can tank these really well, but I decided to stay in and just see what it's like, because you know it's a practice tournament. We want to see how these matchups go. I shield the first one, but I know I can throw the next 2 in succession because of my crazy energy generation. I actually get an extra mud shot there, which is nice. So I'm gonna throw these back to back, and he gets the extra fast anyway, so it's kind of balanced. Then I decide to switch to Frostlass and farm down before he can switch or get to another move, and I was actually pretty successful. He didn't switch. Now we know that I can tank these, so I don't need to switch or shield. And he actually gets a really good switch and gets the Avalanche on the Lapras, and it's a Water Gun Shadow Lapras. So kinda screwed here. I need to shield these, or I don't. Oh, I do. Yeah, I should have definitely shielded. And I do manage to get to 3, so I do get the shield here, and I throw immediately because I don't know the Water Gun Surf count, so I just throw immediately. And then I switch to my Swampert and just force him to throw so that he doesn't die to Surf, but then that way I can kill him with Leaf Blade. So somehow I won that game, but yeah, GG's. But now that I know that the Lapras is Water Gun, I decided to bring in Venusaur. I lead with Swampert, and it's kind of bad here. I need to land a bait or land an Earthquake. I think what happens here is I actually throw both Earthquakes, and he ends up shielding both times. And you could see I tried to catch the Water Gun, the Surf, on the Venusaur, on the switch there, but it didn't. I was like, I couldn't get it. I tried to go for it, and yeah, it doesn't count. And now his Noctowl can just farm me down. I throw the Sludge Bomb, which is neutral, and I was kind of scared he'd throw a move, so I just go for Frenzy Plant, but I guess I could have just gone for the Sludge Bomb. But now he's definitely gonna farm down. Kind of in a rough spot here, because he has energy, so I think I just go in Swampert and just throw the Hydro Cannon just to get rid of his energy. But now he has a Haunter, and this Gallade isn't going to be able to take out... well, it is going to be able to take out, but both my Pokemon are pretty much in Shadow Claw range, and I have no energy, so it's going to be his win. Last game of the set, kind of neutral matchup here. I decide to go straight for the Earthquake without shielding the Frenzy Plant, because I know I can survive one. But he shields correctly, and he actually calls the Earthquake. I don't know why, but I throw this Rock Slide immediately. I was kind of scared he'd throw Frenzy immediately, so I wanted to get some energy off. And I tried to catch a Frenzy on the Venusaur. Oh, I actually got it. It was a bit delayed, but I ended up getting it anyway. But maybe he threw because he wanted to farm with Noctowl. But this was kind of part of my plan, because I wanted to bait out the Noctowl so Gallade can sweep, because once Noctowl is out of the picture, Gallade doesn't have any hard counters. And I have 2 shields here because I forced the shield on the Earthquake, and I can just tank all this energy. I don't actually care about this. I actually CMP tie on the Rock Slide, but that's actually even better because I get a free Confusion worth of energy. But he switches to Venusaur to throw the Frenzy Plant, but I can just Confusion that down. So his last Pokemon is going to be a Lapras, and I have 2 Confusions worth of energy, so I can just shield and double Leaf Blade and Confusion the Noctowl, and it's going to be my game. So yeah, I really liked this team with the Shadow Lapras, but once I realized he was bringing Noctowl in every game, I just had to bait it out, and I could sweep with Gallade. So next game against Elade or Elad, we get a neutral mirror. I think I don't bait. Yeah, I just go straight Earthquake for a bit more, just in case he switches on my Earthquake and throw mine, and he shields, and then he switches to Medicham and farms me down. But now I can farm him down with Gallade, and I have still my Medicham in the back for his Stunfisk. So even though I kind of lost the lead, I'm not too worried. Decide to shield here just to maintain my energy that I have, and whatever he comes back in with. Oh, Frostlass. Yeah, actually I don't think I win this one. He has Frostlass against my double fighter strat. So I think I shield this, worried about the Shadow Ball, and he just switches immediately and goes straight Earthquake. I decide to bait an Ice Punch here, because I think this is my only win condition. If I shield and then farm, and then Dynamic Punch, and then maybe another Dynamic Punch on the... But he didn't shield, and yeah, that's going to be game. So really good team building. Realized I needed something for his Frostlass. Get a good lead here, and he goes Scrafty. And I was like, damn, I changed my team, and then he changes his. Now I don't have anything for Scrafty. That is, I don't have my Medicham. But he actually does something pretty interesting, and he double shields my Hydro Cannons. And once he's seen that, I'm like, okay, sure, I'm gonna tank this, because it's obviously a power-up punch, because Foul Play would feel kind of like wasted. And then I instantly switch while his switch is gone, and I can just use one shield here just to be safe if it's Foul Play, but he baits anyway. And then throw the Close Combat to KO. and I still have my free Pokemon and a shield. And then he comes in with Scrafty, and I think the Rock Slide will KO here with my double defense drop, but I have Swampert for this now. And I throw my Hydro Cannon, bit farm extra just to deal some damage here, and I actually get it on the CMP, which is perfect, which is I think why I overfarmed a little bit. And now I have my Frostlass against his Medicham, just like before, how the tables have turned. So this Shadow Ball should KO, and I can just Powder Snow down, or not even, just throw the Avalanche and take the win. So now it's 1-1, and we're going into the third game of the set. Medicham Mirror. Now, I think this is a very even matchup. His I think is a Hundo. Mine has slightly less defense. I don't know why. He went for Dynamic Punch, which does more damage, but it's less energy efficient. So I think what I could have done is just stayed in, but I tried to catch a move on the Frostlass, knowing that all moves are resisted. And then he switches into Scrafty here, which is kind of bad for me. I decided not to shield anything and just throw the Avalanche and then farm with Medi, but he actually baits, which is even better, so now I can just throw another Avalanche, forcing the shield, or getting Switchback, and I actually got Switchback. I think he told me later that he actually had Foul Play and he baited. He goes for an aggressive farm down, but I'm able to get to my Shadow Ball, forcing him to shield again, so now I am up shields, and now I decide to quickly go into Medicham and throw an Ice Punch, which I'm also surprised he shields, because Psychic wouldn't have KO'd and Dynamic Punch is resisted, and now I can just double shield here, farm plenty. I need to be careful of his switch. I mean, I'm just gonna use my shield to farm, and I know he's not dead to Hydro Cannon. So, and just in case, farm a bit extra, be careful of the switch, throw Hydro Cannon immediately, and then throw Earthquake just to guarantee the KO. So GG's, Elide, and now I'm going against the Season 2 European Champion. So I'm pretty spooked. With this lead, I realize this Leaf Blade probably won't KO, but I'm gonna get to these Leaf Blades faster than his Psychic. And I actually tried to catch a Psychic on this, and actually my plan was to bait out the Shadow Victreebel, and I did a mistake here. I should have thrown the Hydro Cannon, because Hydro Cannon even resisted would have done like half of that damage, and then I could have farmed this safely, but instead I just die. So yeah, if I threw the Hydro Cannon there, I think I would have been able to safely farm it with Gallade, because that was kind of why I wanted to bring Gallade in this team, for the Shadow Victreebel that everyone was kind of scared of in this meta. So that's why I kind of switched to Swampert to bait it out and then farm it. But it didn't really work out. But I knew he was going to switch there, so I don't throw immediately, and I farm a bit extra and then throw the Rock Slide and then farm it down. I was a bit angry because he got that extra Mud Shot, which meant now I can't win anymore. Well, you're going to see. I'm going to be like one Mud Shot away, if I remember. Or two Mud Shots, I guess it didn't matter. But not throwing that Hydro Cannon was a big mistake, which meant I could have farmed down the Vic. And now I completely lose this lead. Decide to safe switch into Gallade, and then I get really annoyed because a Confusion goes in there, meaning I can't double Leaf Blade, forcing the shield or the switch. And you're gonna see that the extra shield actually really mattered. So I decide to aggressively farm this down with Frostlass. And now he has two shields, and obviously he's not going to bring his Victreebel here because he knows he can have that for whatever's in the back. I decide to try to catch a Rock Slide on the Swampert, but he didn't. And you see how much Hydro Cannon did there. And again, if I could have maybe farmed this down, I would have been in a good position. So a lot of very small, tiny things. I have 100 energy here. So yeah, and this Rock Slide's going to KO. So at this point, it's already 2-0 for him, and I realize, you know what, I'm just gonna lead Frostlass because his entire team, his team comp was really weak to Frostlass. But then he leads Alolan Ninetales, so completely reading me left and right. Unfortunately, he shields the Shadow Ball, and I die with Avalanche. I switch to my Stunfisk, and I know because Gallade completely loses to Fairy, I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna bring it in here because I'm not gonna have a better moment. After shielding the Earthquake, I knew that second one was a Rock Slide. Throw here after farming a second Close Combat so that I can throw it on the Ninetales as well, getting the second shield. But I realize I probably should shield this Ice Beam, but he completely hard countered again. So yeah, well played, Mephis. Obviously, makes sense how you're the Season 2 European champion. Completely outplayed, completely read. But yeah, I made a couple of mistakes, and I'll try not to make them in our real weighted cup. Well, there you have it. I was actually pretty impressed with Gallade's performance, especially as a safe switch. I think he's very, very solid. If there's no charm, most of those teams didn't have any charmers, so long as there's no charm in the team, he's a very safe switch. Shadow Victreebel and charm is quite tricky in the same team as we saw in that last set, so I'm thinking of maybe running Golbat or a Alolan Sandshrew. Definitely have some coverage for that. But yeah, I'm overall very impressed with Gallade. I think with energy, you saw he almost one-shot Noctowl, he one-shots Lapras, and he one-shots Stunfisk with Close Combat. So I think he's a very, very solid pick. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed those games, maybe learned something new, learn from my mistakes, learn from your opponent's mistakes, learn from your opponent's good plays, learn from my good plays, but whatever. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe downstairs below, and follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Those are all down there as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Again, I'm gonna say thank you very much for watching one more time. Thank you very much for watching. Azrael.